It's April 3rd and we've taken all of our pipe clamps off the mast. We have it completely glued up. She came out nice and straight. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a slight wobble at the end. But that's actually going to be up past where the sails attach. This is going to be a gaff rig, so there'll be a spar coming off about here that the tops of the mainsail is attached to. The only thing we'll have above here is an attachment point up here for our jib and our stays, and a couple pulleys. But at this point, because we want the mast nice and round, we have to make a tool to sand this down. What we're going to do is we're going to use a 6-inch sanding belt. We're going to take that, flip it inside out. We're going to put a drum on an electric sander. To make the drum, we're going to use a hole saw and cut out 8 circles out of this 3/4 inch ply, glue them and tack them together, coat it with a piece of rubber, and that will be our sanding drum. And then we should be able to just put it over top of the spar, or the mast, and get her sanded nice and round. There's 2. Oh. And this is a sacrificial piece, so our bit doesn't come in contact with the metal table. Okay, I want to make sure that I don't go all the way through. I want to stop just before I break through. Otherwise, your circles get caught inside this, and it's real difficult to get out. So what we'll do is we'll get all 8 started, and then we'll come back, flip this over, and finish them off, and we'll be able to pull them out real easy. So we're going to measure up. Okay, 3/4 is right there. We'll put a little mark where we want it to stop. And that should do it. Okay, so all 8, well actually I went 9, so my drum would be a little bit wider than the actual sanding belt. All 9 are cut. So now the pilot holes have come through, so I can use that to line it up exactly. We just insert the bit into the pilot hole, and we know we've got it's centered right, and then we're going to clamp it down right there. And then that's all it takes. 8 more to go. Okay, so we've got a piece of all thread and a bit that's just slightly smaller than the outside diameter of the threads, so we'll be able to drill out the middle of our wooden blocks and thread this through. Okay, so I've got my drum with my slit in it. I sprayed it with the spray adhesive, and we're just letting it get a little more tacky, and then we're just going to make sure that's snug in the slit there and roll her up. And then once it's on there, then I'll trim the excess hanging. I'll trim the excess hanging off either ends. We've got our mast suspended between the table saw and the bench, clamped down at either end. We have our sanding tool right there. The belt's already on. Now we do have to make sure we're going in the right direction. Then it's just going to be a lot of sanding and rotating of the mast and sanding again. Draw knife, however, seems to work great for the bulk removal, and then we'll come back with the hand plane to do a little fine tuning before we try sanding again. Draw knife is working really well. The only problem with it is you have to really be careful of the grain. If it switches direction, well, it always runs up and down lengthwise, but sometimes it'll go in like this, sometimes it'll come out like that. And if you come this way when it's leaning out like that, then it wants to split deep, and you end up with it, let's see, chipping out like that. So you just have to go slow and gentle and watch for that. Now, I am able to get all the points taken off pretty quickly, getting it to a true octagon, and then I'm probably going to switch over to the block plane at that point, and we'll see how it goes then. So here's one of the spots where it started to chip up. So then I have to come back from the other side. And this one piece seems to keep on switching. So I'm just matching the angle of the next piece while I'm working on this one, and I'm going to end up with a pretty fair octagon. I'm actually able to go quite a bit faster when I'm not trying to hold the phone or the camera also. But this gives you an idea of how it works. Oh, so now I've got to switch direction again. Okay, the plane is working pretty nice, getting it rounded down. I don't know how well that's showing up. But I know that's, you can at least see a difference. So, it's not very fast, but we're getting there. So just okay, I found the best way to do it, I can show you on this end, I haven't quite gotten this, is using the block plane, get it to a nice even 8-sided. And then I come through with the draw knife, take off these corners so it turns it into a 16-sided. And then you can come back with the block plane, clean that up, and then take off the corners on the 16-sided. And then just working by hand, you can get it to a fairly nice round. It's almost all feel. You have to run your hand over it, you feel where the high spots are, and then you hit it.